How fun is this Six Nations tournament? It is so much fun. Hello, I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. As you can see, I'm in Cardiff for Wales against England, but this video is all about the game that's just finished, which I've watched the end of on the big screen here as the male Welsh voice choir get into full song. Yeah, I've just watched Italy v Ireland. How good is this tournament? How much fun? It's turning into an absolute classic. And well, here's your spoiler alert in 3, 2, 1 in case you're trying to avoid the score. Well done to Ireland for a victory. Hard fought, it has to be said. And I think everyone could go away happy with this because Ireland got the 5 points. And they're going back to Ireland, you know, with the Grand Slam dream still alive. And Italy, well, they put one of the best teams on earth, well, the best team on earth, in some very difficult spots. Had them on the ropes at one point. And I'm sure there were a lot of Ireland fans were getting a little bit twitchy when they were 7 points down and on their line. So just a fantastic game all round. Right, first thing I've got to talk about though. Oh, leave your comments, yeah? Leave your comments on what you made of the game, how you're feeling after it, how you're feeling about the tournament in general, and what you think of these observations. First observation, incredible bit of mind games going on from the Italian band to play the national anthem for Ireland at about half speed, like it was a funeral march tempo. Just take all the energy out of the atmosphere for the Irishmen. I love that. If that was deliberate, it was genius. And my favourite part was Craig Casey just laughing his head off because the Irish team were at Ireland while the first verse was still going. Also, just well, that was one good, one bad. Andy Farrell, you look incredible in a black suit. Stop wearing the tracksuit. It's not your best look. There you go. But as for the rugby, oh yeah, and the other thing, there was no Cocaine Bear advert at half time, which I was very disappointed about. But as for the actual rugby itself, 6 tries in that first half. It was electrifying from the off. James Lowe with the disallowed try, dropping the ball over the line, and then James Ryan scoring straight away. And I think what we've seen from Ireland, I hope you can hear me over this noise, what we've seen from Ireland is clinical finishing. Some really good rugby, but just when they get that chance, they didn't have, I think Italy had most of the possession, but certainly in the first half hour, and Ireland still came away with the, 4 tries in 35 minutes. So that's a really good sign for Ireland that they're being so clinical. And Bundy Aki, he must be exhausted right now because he had so many involvements in the game. Most of them good, not all of them good. And there was one moment in the second half, just see how exhausted he looked. And it was Bundy Aki who set the first try in motion, James Ryan scoring, Aki breaking free, Keenan on the left hand side, inside pop to Ryan via Lowe, and then Varney scored the try. Varney, who was the one person on the Italian team I was questioning in the pre-game video I did on this channel, saying I'm not sure he deserves to be in the team. Of course he goes and pops up with a try, as Italy just play from everywhere, few phases, got it wide, no fear rugby, got the points. Garbisi with the penalty, and then in between that, Hugo Keenan had scored, again an Aki break, slick hands, unloads. Keenan should have been tackled, but slippery eel of a fullback that he is, he got the try, and we were on. It was a game. The next game we actually saw Bundy Aki himself score that try, and that was a turnover, wasn't it? Italy running from inside their own 22, and this is the danger for Italy. They play from everywhere, but if they do get caught, they're in danger. And Italy made that turnover. Ireland made that turnover count. Shifted left. Josh van der Fleer went wide, inside pop to Aki, and he's in the corner. And then Mac Hansen, who was the man of the match, and probably maybe doesn't get the credit he deserves compared to some of the other players in the Irish team. He's been quietly superb the last year or so, and he got a couple of tries today, the first of them after 35 minutes. With that, well, Aki's, the involvement that you'll want to forget about. And this maybe, I think, was the lesson for this from Ireland is, yes, they've got depth, but there are some key positions where it's hard to replace, and 13 is one of those shirts that defensively, as much as anything, is really, really hard to play. And I think Bundy Aki you could see the relative inexperience. He's played a lot of international rugby, obviously, most of it at 12. His relative inexperience at 13 showed. He got caught out defensively a few times, and also maybe the slickness that we've seen with Ireland wasn't quite there for that Italian try just before half-time. and the interception, but it did mean that we went in just a 7-point game and all to play for. And I've got to say, Italy's defence stepped up in the second half. They put in some big hits, whereas they were leaking a little bit in the first half. And Finlay Bealham might be one of the most concerning bits of the game for Ireland, who went off, of course. But I've got just an absolute riot of a game as a neutral. And I love watching Ireland and the way they play. And I love watching the ambition of Italy. I think I was almost thinking, some people will be critical, saying, "Oh, this is like Super Rugby, defence optional." Sometimes I love the ambition with Italy. You're not going to beat Ireland or France if you're Italy by playing percentage rugby. You just got to go for it. And they didn't beat France. They nearly did, and they didn't beat Ireland. They got a bit closer to beating France, but they're getting closer, and it's fantastic to see. Really like it. What other observations can I make? Yeah, imagine if Andy Farrell had made the changes that a lot of people were clamouring for, all of the changes. Ireland could well have got beaten, and I think that was what you saw in the second half from Ireland. Respect paid to Italy, because they are a quality international team. Tough luck to Italy. I think they're turning into everyone's second favourite team. A few other things I really liked. It was Ian Henderson doing a one-man counter-ruck, taking out 3 Italians and stealing the ball. Italy being the new barbarians. Nick Mullins. Oh, listen to that. I'll just wait for the Welsh choir to finish. Fantastic. Nick Mullins, who I work with and I know well, I'm sure. I will say, and I'll say this to Nick, was there any need to use the phrase muscular thrust talking about Caelan Doris? Although I will admit, Caelan Doris is the sort of guy that gives me those feelings as well. It wasn't just that. There was muscular thrust, and I couldn't remember what other phrase. There was some other softish holes and a stiffish angle. I think that's how exciting the rugby was today, that it made the commentary team do that. Loved it. Well done, Ireland. Grand Slam is still on. I'll see you after Wales-England. Who will that be good news for? We don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and please do hit subscribe, and I'll bring you more content here on Egg Chasers.